Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing this program from across the world. Welcome to another broadcast of Investor's Guide. The Investor's Guide is designed to focus on critical issues that really gives you, the entrepreneur, the information that you need to make solid business investment. So on this platform, we will be talking to private equity investors, venture capitalists, and we will be talking with the entrepreneur who has something of substance to bring to you to help you to make better business decision. Today with us in the studio is no other than Karlene Hubbert, and Karlene Hubbert is all the way out of the UK, and she is well known as the Chatbots Queen. And of course, that name is given to her not by any accident. It's largely because she knows her stuff. She is a subject matter expert when it comes to leveraging the platform known as the chatbots to really help the entrepreneur to position him or her brand in front of the ideal client and to optimize public response, optimize the cash flow and potential of the operation. And of course, that's the main reason why you're in business. So if you're into business and you want to optimize positive public response to your platform, the person to talk to is Karlene Hubbert, better known as the Chatbots Queen. Welcome, Ms. Karlene. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am very well, thank you.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I must say it's a pleasure to be talking with you. Always a pleasure. I want us to look a little bit at your business. I mean, the chatbots, depending on where you are in the world, it can be something new. It can be something unique. It could be something that is relevant. This could be a dream come true. Help us to understand your brand, what your brand represents, the chat box.
Okay, so what my brand does, what I do is, as the name suggests, I build chatbots. And what I do is I build personalized chatbots to help you actually convert more traffic, engage more traffic, convert that traffic so that you save time and money, so that you can make more money, and so that you can save more time, so that you can have more time for yourself. So that's what the chatbot actually enables you to do.
I really love that, Now, this is something that we know that many businesses struggle with. You might be a public speaker. You might be doing Facebook marketing, you might be doing, social media marketing, but the conversion is low. And what they do, they call you, and you're able to fix that. And we talk a lot. And I remember the last time we spoke, which is not so long ago, you told me about this individual that you're working with, and you were able to introduce your platform to him. And it significantly increased the amount of traffic that was going to his platform. And of course, that's another reason why they call you the chatbox queen, because you don't only talk the talk, but you deliver on your value proposition. And I want to say big kudos to you. But tell us a little bit about what actually inspired you to position yourself as a chatbox queen in this space. What inspired you?
Got it. Okay, thank you so much. So what I used to do actually, Gary, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, I'm not sure if I told you, but I used to actually do email marketing. So I used to build out email funnels for people who run webinars. So my speciality with building out chatbots is building out funnels for people who have events like webinars, masterclasses, workshops, summits. And what I did when I did email marketing was I enabled people to actually increase their conversions. And a lot of that was post-webinar, because we know the money is in the follow-up. So I would design funnels that would actually help people increase their conversions. And my clients were doing very well with that. And then in 2017, chatbots came out. And then I thought, okay, well, let me apply the same principle to chatbots. Now, with chatbots, you're not going to use long form copy like you would with email. It's more bite-sized messages, like you're having a conversation with somebody, because the chatbot will actually talk back to you. Now, these messages are messages that you design and that you program into the chatbot. And when I work with somebody, let's say if I were to work with you, I would make the chatbot sound like you, so that people feel as though they're communicating with you. Now, I let people know that the chatbot is a chatbot, so I don't try to deceive them and let them think that they're actually talking with you and you're there talking with them right there and then. No, I let people know that they're talking to a chatbot, and I give the chatbot a personality. So my chatbot, her name is Bubbles. So when people come to my chatbot and they're interacting with my brand and they're interacting with me, there is Bubbles that's going to greet them. So Bubbles will say, oh, hi, my name is Bubbles, and Karlene would love for me to share this guide with you on how to use chatbots in your business. And people aren't expecting that. And then there are some people who don't like chatbots. So I like to just infuse that little bit of humor so that it takes that fear away. And, then they don't have their backs up so much. And then they're on the side of the chatbot. Now, I'm on a platform that's called Clubhouse quite a lot, and I'm there networking and getting to meet new people, and that's how I met yourself. So if somebody was coming to my chatbot from Clubhouse, what I have it say is it would say, oh, hi, Gary, my name is Karlene. My name is Bubbles, Karlene's virtual agent. Did you see Karlene on Clubhouse? She spends all day there and leaves me here to do all the work. But I love meeting people like you, and she would love for you to have this guide. So straight away, people start chuckling, they start laughing, because they're not expecting this. And then instead of meeting something that could be robotic, because chatbots can be robotic, they're meeting something that's giving them humor. So now they're having fun. They're having fun with you. They're having fun with your brand. So they're getting to know, like, and trust you. So now what happens is you'll find that they'll move along your funnel unconsciously, because they're enjoying interacting with this chatbot, and they almost want to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? What is she going to say next? What is she going to do next? So unconsciously, they're moving along that funnel to the action that you want them to take. Now, a chatbot can be so many different things. The other day, I spoke with a gentleman, and he was going to be at an event. And what he wanted to do was to be able to connect with the people from that event, to gather their contact details so that he could contact them afterwards, and he could make an appointment with them. So the purpose of that chatbot for that gentleman was to have a way to gather these contacts, and have a way for these contacts to actually make an appointment with him. Now, there were 100 people in the room, and he managed to get 30 of those people into the chatbot, and then 10 of them actually went on to make an appointment with him, whom he is still in contact with today. And all he had to do in that case was give them a link. And so he used what's called a 10K card. That was easy for him to say. And so he just said, go to Douglas, it was 10kdouglas.com. And they went to his 10K card. And then on the left-hand side, I think it was the third button down, was his Instagram. So all they had to do was click on that Instagram and then type the word cash. And once they did that, then the chatbot started talking to them getting their phone number, getting their email, and then having them make an appointment. So it was easy for the prospect, and it was very easy for my client to actually gather these contact details just by asking them to go to his 10K card. Now, that's because he had a chatbot on Instagram. Now, you can have your chatbot in a number of different places. You can have it on Facebook Messenger, you can have it on Instagram, and as of the end of last year, you can also have it on WhatsApp, and you can also, I think as of this year, have it on Telegram as well. So this industry is really coming on leaps and bounds, and you can now build chatbots in a multiple different areas. So wherever your audience is, you now have a way to capture them, and they can communicate with you in the way that they prefer to communicate. So if you have somebody who prefers Messenger, they can use Messenger. If they prefer Instagram, if that's where they are most of the time, then you're giving them that opportunity. So they're making the choice on how they want to communicate with you. Now, once they've made the choice, then they're more likely to communicate with you, as opposed to you forcing them to communicate in one way. Let's say that's email. Obviously, I do answer my email, but I'm going to see a message on Messenger or on Instagram before I do on email. So if you want to get in contact with me quickly, it's going to be those two channels. But of course, email is still very important. And I would never, ever say to people, just do a chatbot and not do email, because some people still do like to communicate via email. And when you actually gather your contacts through these mediums, through Facebook Messenger, through Instagram or Telegram, you then want to have people over in your own arena. So Instagram and Facebook, they all belong to Facebook. But once you get those contact details and then you put them in your autoresponder, say ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or Infusionsoft, now you own that list because they're in your domain, they're in your arena. So definitely do get somebody's email and send them off. Just use the chatbot as a bridge, if you will, to take them off that platform where you found them, where you've engaged with them in the very first instance, and then take them over to your own arena, somewhere that you actually own. So now you can continue to nurture these people, not only with the chatbots, but with email as well. So having the two together, then you make your communication that much more powerful, and you increase the chances of people actually seeing your messages. Because as I'm sure you know, today we get bombarded with so many messages, and so your message can easily get crowded out. So if you have more than one, or what we call omni-channel marketing, if you have more than one channel through which somebody can communicate with you, they can communicate with the channel that they prefer. And again, with chatbots, you have a really high open rate. So the open rate with a chatbot is on average 80%, and my clients have actually seen higher than that. And then the click-through rate is between 30 and 60%. Now, what does that mean? Let's put that into perspective. Now, let's say that you had a webinar or a masterclass, Gary, and let's say that 100 people registered for that event, and you were going to rely on email alone to actually get those people to show up. The challenge with that is that the email open rates on average are around 24%, and people will have higher, but that's what it is on average. So if you have 100 people registering for your event, only 24 of those people are actually going to open your email and see your reminder. Now, the challenge with that is not as many people are now going to show up to your webinar because they didn't see the reminder. And the other challenge is that the average click-through rate with email is between 3 and 5%. So now only 3 or 5% of that 24% are actually going to click through and go to your event, whatever that is. So these are some of the challenges that my clients are having. Now, when you use a chatbot and you have 100 people register, now you can actually get 80% of those people, so of that 100, you can get 80 people actually seeing that reminder. So straight away, more people are going to show up because they've seen your message, they've been reminded. And the click-through rate, again, is far, far higher than email. It's between 30 and 60%. So again, more people are actually going to take the action that you want them to take, to click and actually go over and watch your webinar. So these are some of the benefits of a chatbot.
Awesome. I really love what you said, and I want to make just a few comments. And one, I love the increase in conversion rate. And I also want to say this, I never shared with you, but you know, bubbly is a truly bubbly character. And and I say this against the backdrop. We had a conversation a little while ago, and we were testing out, you were testing out the chat box. I didn't say it to you, but she's so bubbly that she's very aggressive, you know, and she sent me a reminder that I need to do X, Y, and Z. I try to push it aside because I had work to do. And to my surprise, in another half an hour, another message came again. And she was like that for quite some time to ensure that she's getting my attention. I mention all this to say how bubbly she is, how effective the platform is, and I think that you're onto something, you know, pretty good. It's not easy to just push, you know, this content aside once the entrepreneur, you know, start to leverage the platform. So I can testify to it to that extent. You know, a really bubbly character. All right. The next question I want to ask you is, what are two major accomplishments that you would have accomplished since you have started this platform?
Absolutely. My specialty is actually event type chatbots. That's what I really enjoy doing. That's what, because it was a transfer from doing marketing funnels or webinar funnels for webinars. So very recently I worked with a client and I said to him, you know, how can I help you? What would you like? And he said, you know, what he said was quite interesting to start off with. He said, to be honest with you, I don't actually really have any faith in chatbots. I've had people approach me before and they built funnels for me and it didn't move the needle at all. However, you come highly recommended by somebody I hold in high regard. So I would like to give this a go. But, you know, I hope I don't sound arrogant when I say this, but it didn't actually bother me. I just saw it as a challenge because I know what I have done for clients and I knew what I could do for him. And I says, right, okay, well, what's your registration rate like? And he said that was 68%, which was really good. And I said, I could actually improve that for you. And he says, oh, no, that's fine. I'm happy with that. So I said, okay, what would you like me to do? And then I said to him, well, what's your attendance rate? And he said, it's only 24%. And I need to get more people in the room because I know when I get them in the room, then I can close them. And so I said, okay, great. And what about after the webinar? He says, no, I'm not interested in anything after the masterclass. I'm just interested in the attendance. And so he said his attendance was 24%. So I thought, right, okay, no problem. I can certainly help you with that. And so I designed a system and I put it in place for him. Now, I'm in the UK and he's in America. And so I had to, he ran his masterclass and I had to wait until the morning to see what the results was. But he was really good. And he, you know, as soon as it was over, he emailed me the stats and I was able to look at that in the morning. And that literally made my morning. That was a very, very good morning for me because his attendance was normally 24% and I got his attendance up to 48%. So I literally doubled his attendance.
Awesome, yeah, I love that.
And most of my clients that I work with, I double their attendance and more than double their registrations as well. Now, his masterclass was actually a 3-hour masterclass. And he says, Karlene, something I wasn't expecting that the chatbot would do was that it actually increased my retention rate as well. His retention rate is normally 79%, which is still actually a good retention rate. And he said this time it was 103. And he said all of last year, they weren't able to get those kind of numbers at all. And then at the end of giving me all of his stats, he says, overall, Karlene, very impressed. So I was really pleased for him. I get a buzz when I get those kind of results for my clients. And, you know, those are the kind of results that I can get for clients. So okay. I always am ready to do that.
I love that. More why you're called a chatbots queen. You know what you're doing.
I do enjoy it.
Right. What would you say is your big vision for 2022? You know, I think that the world today, there is set for that massive takeoff because everybody, you know, have this great expectations that things are going to come back to normalcy, you know, anytime now. What is your big ticket vision for 2022?
Right, okay, for 2022, I would love to do what I do for more people. Now, with the pandemic, what happened with that was that it pushed more people online, and where people would have in-person events, more people are actually having virtual events online, doing summits, etc. And whenever you have anything like that, you always have the challenge of having people remember that this summit is taking place and then having them show up. So my vision is to, do this for more and more people who are doing summits, masterclasses, workshops, webinars. Just do this for more people and just to help them get more people showing up to their webinars, their masterclasses, their event, so that they can actually make more conversions and make more money at the end of the day. So that's my vision for the Chatbot Queen.
Awesome. And we're happy to be partnering with the Chatbots Queen to be able to, put your brand out there and some more. In fact, I have a platform today, and I definitely will be talking a little bit about your brand because I do believe that your brand can make impact in that community. Who would you say is your ideal client, your ideal customer?
Got it. Okay, so a lot of the people that I work with at the moment are coaches, consultants, service providers, entrepreneurs, a lot of people who are actually doing event type, who are doing different types of events like masterclasses, summits, workshops, webinars. So I would say that is my main target audience. And then, depending on what you're doing. So let's say that we were having this at a conference, and I wanted to, gather the contacts of the people in the room. Then what I would do is have a QR code on my PowerPoint screen. Let's say I just gave a presentation on chatbots and how people can use it in their business. At the end, I would have a QR code on the screen. That would be part of my presentation. And all people would need to do is to just take their phone, scan the code, and then Bubbles will start talking to them and giving them a guide or giving them the slide, whatever it is that I would be giving at that time. So as you can see, that's something that's very easy for the prospects to do, for the people in the audience, and it's very easy for me. So within a few seconds, within a few minutes, you could have built your list, with all of the people that are in that room, and then continue to nurture them afterwards. So let's say you're a speaker, that's one way that you could build your list. Let's say you're an author, and you go around and you do conferences and you talk about your book. You could again use a QR code and you could give people, say, a chapter of your book free to read, And then, they can keep in contact with you. You can keep in contact with them, nurture them, and then send them on to buy the whole book from, wherever you're actually selling the book. So I would say my speciality, if you will, is event type chatbots. But depending on what somebody is trying to achieve, I can also build a chatbot to that end as well. So some people, they're wanting to make appointments, like the gentleman I recently worked with. So he has an appointment chatbot. Some people are wanting to qualify the people who come through their funnel. So the function of the chatbot in that case would be to actually qualify people. So it will ask them questions. So let's say, for example, you only wanted to work with people who were in a certain industry or who were only of a certain price bracket. The chatbot could ask those questions. And if somebody fell outside of that price bracket, then instead of you having the call with them and telling them, oh, I'm really sorry, we're not a right fit right now, you can have the chatbot do that. So let's say they fell outside of your price bracket, then the chatbot could say, oh, it seems you might not be a right fit right now. However, Gary would love to share one of his best-selling books with you, just so that they don't feel bad that, they're not able to have the conversation with you right now because they're not a right fit right now, but they're still getting something from you. So you're still keeping yourself front of mind with them because now they have your book. And then you could say, oh, is it okay if I contact you in a month's time or in 2 months' time? So now the chatbot is literally acting as your salesperson, because now in a month's time or in 2 months' time, the chatbot can tap in with that person again and say, oh, hello, I'm, whatever we would name your chatbot. What would we name your chatbot? Let's say your chatbot is called Gigi. Just for argument's sake. Hi, it's Gigi here, Gary's virtual assistant. You mentioned that, we could contact you again, and, we'd just like to ask you a few questions. So again, you're still vetting them to make sure that they're a right fit now, because it still would make no sense to have the call if they're still not a right fit. So the chatbot could do all of that. So that's saving you and your team so much time. So imagine somebody having to do that, having to put in their diary to call this person. And then when they call the person, they have to answer all those questions, and then they still might not be a right fit. All of that time that you can't get back is lost on a prospect that's not right now. So the chatbot can literally save you all of that time and do that legwork, do all of that heavy lifting for you, and only bring people to you to have a call with you who are a right fit at that time. And then if they're not, then, the chatbot will keep in contact with them, it can drip feed them value, an ebook, a guide, a mini course, just to keep you front of mind, so that when they do become a right fit for your service and they need your service, then you're the one that they're going to think of, because you're the one that's actually kept in touch with them. You're the one that's actually given them value. So just like McDonald's always advertising, when you think of having a hamburger, who do you think of? McDonald's. So you're doing the same thing with the chatbot. The chatbot is helping to keep you front of mind, and it's also acting as your salesperson, saving you time. So if you have a team, now you can use that team elsewhere in your business, because now you have something that's automated, that's working 24/7 for you, doing a job that a team member may normally have done.
I really love that you mentioned automation. And as you speak about what chatbots can do, I am working with a client out of India, in fact, a business partner, and we are building out what is known as the bestseller authors portal. It targets influencers, and their vision is to capture 1 million influencers within a period of time. The number 1 million sounds big, but India being a population of over 1 billion, I could understand why they see that as a small figure. But how do you see chatbots being leveraged as the go-to platform to attract influencers to this platform? And I ask this question because from conversations that we would have had for quite some time now, we know that chatbots respond to the traffic that you have going through a particular platform. Could it be built out to attract an audience from generic sources, independent sources that may not be directly connected to you itself?
Got it. So I hope I've understood the question correctly. Please stop me if I haven't. But what the chatbot is very good at doing is converting the traffic. So let's say you have an influencer and let's say they're on Instagram and they have a lot of followers and they're putting out posts and they're putting out stories and they're putting out IG lives. Now, all that influencer would need to do is say to their audience, DM me a particular keyword. So let's say the keyword is guide. All they would need to do is say, DM me the word guide, and then the chatbot will kick in and start giving them that guide. It will get their name, it will get their email, and then it will send that information over to their email autoresponder that they're using, whether that's ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, ConvertKit, and it will kick off the automation that they have there as well. So now people are being nurtured not only in the chatbot, but in email as well. Now, the great thing about using the chatbot is it's very good at converting the traffic because the friction is very low. So normally what you would have is somebody would go to your a landing page. They would put their email, their name in, then they would put their email, then they may put their phone number, and they'll complete that form. Now, the challenge with that is if they only put their name in and they get distracted and they don't finish, then you've lost that contact. Now, let's say you did an amazing IG live and you have the opportunity to get so many contacts and you send them to a landing page. One, you're sending them away to another platform. So you're sending them off of Instagram to another platform. And whenever you send somebody away from where they meet you to another place, there's a drop off. So you're going to lose a lot of people. Whereas if you're having your live or you have your post on Instagram and all you're saying to people is, DM me. That's really easy and simple for somebody to do. They don't have to go to your link tree, click a link, then go over to a form, then complete that form out, and then wait to get the information. No, from them just DMing you the word guide, then the chatbot will start talking, get their email, send it over to your autoresponder, and then your autoresponder will send them an email with that guide. And also within the chatbot, you can give them a link to the guide as well. So you would get their contact details first of all, so you can keep in contact with them. But if you want to, you can also literally deliver the guide in the chatbot. Now, we all live in a microwave society. We want everything yesterday. So getting their details and also giving them that PDF, that guide within the chatbot as well, gives them that sense of immediacy. They're getting what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and they're getting it straight away. So now you have the opportunity to start building that relationship really quickly. Now, let's say that your competitor is sending them away to a landing page. They're going to lose some of those people in that transit. And then if they don't complete the form, then they've lost that person. Whereas in the chatbot, let's say that you started typing out your name. In Instagram, you have to get the person's name, whereas in Facebook Messenger, their name automatically populates. So chatbots on Instagram came into play in August of last year, and it functions just a little differently. So let's say they go to your Instagram, they've DM'd you the word guide, and you've got their name. Let's say the doorbell rings or something happens and they have to move away. And this is something you alluded to earlier. What will happen is the chatbot will sit there, detect that and see, oh, I didn't get Gary's name. Well, the chatbot won't know your name yet. It will say, oh, I didn't get this person's name. Let me go back and say, oh, hi, it seems I haven't gotten your name yet. Did I lose you? Oh, I'd love to know what to call you because I don't want to keep calling you, hey there, and you make it fun and you get the person's name. And let's say they get distracted again and you didn't get their email. Again, the chatbot will sit there and watch for this to see what information was given and what information wasn't. And then it will prompt that person again and it will say, oh, Gary, looks like I don't have your email yet. And I'd love to send you this amazing guide on, marketing, for example. And then you let them know, you just remind them of the benefits of getting that guide so they want to get it. And so then they give you their email. So you have internal retargeting with a chatbot that you don't have to pay any money for. Now, if you were to send people to your landing page via paid traffic, you can retarget that person, but again, you're going to have to pay for that traffic. However, if you do it within a chatbot, you don't. All of that retargeting happens within the chatbot and it's free. So that's another way in which you're actually saving yourself money and saving yourself time, and you're actually increasing the chances of actually building your list because you have this chatbot sitting there just prompting people, watching to see what kind of responses they have or have not given, and then prompting them to take or do whatever it is you're asking them to do, whether it's to gather their name, their email, or their phone number, or to complete the survey. The chatbot is sitting there helping make sure that these things actually happen. And again, it's free. You don't have to do any paid traffic or paid retargeting to make that happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that, because whether the traffic is on Facebook or the traffic is on Instagram, and once you pull them into chatbots, and they become your client until they decide to opt out of that platform. So I really love that.
Yes, they can always opt out if they want to, but there'll be a contact there that you can continue to reach out to.
Process. Okay. Now, I've listened to your platform. I do believe it's a powerful platform. I will be talking to a number of my partners and definitely get them to see the wisdom in your brand.
Thank you.
What are some of the challenges that you see clients are faced with? What are some of the challenges that businesses are faced with for them to really see the importance of this platform? From my vantage point, I do believe it's absolutely necessary. My belief is that if you're not using chatbots into, up-leveling the visibility of your brand, reaching impact, you're not just leaving the crumbs on the table, but you're leaving, perhaps 3/4 of that cake on the table because chatbots is, no, it's unique. So, but talk to me. I mean, what are some of the challenges that they're faced with?
Yeah, so the platform that I use to actually build this out is called ManyChat, and it's a really, really good platform. It's very easy to use. They have great support and it's user friendly. And a lot of the challenges that I see people having is that of converting the traffic. So let's say somebody has a website and they have a form on the website. Let's say, it's a business that needs somebody to complete an inquiry form. Now, the completion rate for an inquiry form is actually quite low. It's around 27%, whereas with a chatbot, it's in the 80s. So if somebody comes to your website and then you have a chatbot pop up, you usually see this in the bottom right-hand corner. And then the chatbot can say, oh, hi, Gary, lovely to meet you. How can I help you? And then it can invite them to complete that form. You're going to get more people actually completing that form. So you're actually now going to be getting more leads from your website. And let's say you rely on appointments, and people will make appointments and then people will forget. If you use the chatbot, what the chatbot will do is make the appointment for you. So they'll literally make the appointment through the chatbot, and then a day before the appointment, the chatbot will remind you and say, oh, hey, Gary, Karlene is looking forward to that appointment with you. Are you still coming? And so it's helping you save your time, because you're getting people to make these little micro commitments. So you're finding out if they can come or if they can't come. And life gets busy, and it might be that they can't come. So they can let you know very quickly that they're not going to be able to make it. So now you know that you can allot that time to something else, as opposed to sitting there waiting for this person is not able to come. Then the chatbot will actually help them reschedule that appointment, so you don't lose that contact. So it will actually help you increase your actual show up rate as well. And then after you have your appointment with that person, you can also then follow up with the chatbot as well. So there's so many different things that the chatbot can do, and those are some of the things there. Now, some other things, let's say you have frequently asked questions. Now, instead of somebody sitting there answering all of these questions, the chatbot can actually answer those frequently asked questions. And that will save a lot of time, because, as we're doing business with a business, we may have questions that we want to have answered before we actually do that business. So the chatbot can be sitting there helping you answer those frequently asked questions. And then when the question is answered, then the chatbot can direct people to, it might be, to buy something, or to make with you, or to actually schedule a call, or to actually register for your webinar, your summit, your workshop, your masterclass. So the chatbot is very good at just continuing that conversation. Now, let's say you wanted to get more reviews for your business. The chatbot can actually do that as well. So the chatbot can help people actually write the review, encourage people to write the review, and then you can decide where you'd like that review to be posted. So if that's on Facebook, if that's on Google, you can have your Facebook link and your Google link. All people will need to do is just click that and then go over to that platform and then post that review. So it's actually it really reduces the friction. And because you have such a reduction in friction, you get more people actually taking the action that you want them to take. So yeah, those are some things there. Oh, and I forgot to mention challenges. So people who are running challenges as well, that, a challenge my clients have used a chatbot to help more people actually show up to that as well, and more people to actually register. So there's so many different use cases, and you can use it in e-commerce as well. So let's say you went to an e-commerce site and you had a look at a really beautiful jacket, but you got distracted. What the chatbot will do is it will say, oh, Gary, I noticed you were looking at this black jacket, but it seemed you got distracted. Would you still like to buy this jacket? And it will literally show you the item. So it's actually getting you emotionally involved in this item that you were browsing, and then it will take you to the checkout. Now, let's say you've actually gotten to the checkout, but again, you got distracted. A few minutes later, it can say something like, oh, you've left something in your your checkout basket. Here it is, and it will show it to you again. So there's so many different use cases for chatbots.
I'm loving everything that you're saying, because here is where we have AI and artificial intelligence that can be integrated across platforms, and it can really become your sales manager, it can become your public relation manager, because it is, very smart AI. Again, if you're not using these platforms, you're leaving more than the crumbs on the table. Make contact with Karlene. She's out of the UK. Make contact with me. I'll be happy to make the connection to ensure that you can get value. I mean, Karlene is not called the queen of this platform, by any accident. The chat box queen. She knows what she's about, and you can feel the passion when she speaks. All right, she's bringing years of knowledge into what she's doing, and what I love about what she does, and her central focus is to ensure that she's optimizing the results that you want. All right, not that money doesn't matter, but her key focus is ensuring that you get results. So I want to encourage you to connect with Karlene out of England. If you don't know how, do make contact with me. I'll be happy to pass that information out, and I will have some information populated, so you will be able to make contact with Karlene, the queen of the Chatbots platform. Karlene, I'm at the last two questions, and what I want to ask you, and I mean, you have mentioned so much that is already unique. All right, it's already unique. It's relevant. I believe it's a platform that can significantly fast track conversion rates for businesses. But I still want to ask you, what is unique about what you're doing? I know in your country, you may have more than one person doing this, but across the world, I'm quite certain that many persons might have never even heard about chatbots. But talk to me about the uniqueness about what you're doing.
Got it. What a lot of people always say to me, and someone said this to me this week, is that they like the way that I build chatbots. Now, what I like to do now, a chatbot could be very robotic, which means the user experience isn't going to be great. And what I always like to do is make that experience personal, make that experience fun, so people actually enjoy actually connecting with and communicating with your brand. So one of the key things that I do is to make the chatbot very personalized and very fun, so that people are enjoying it, they're having fun. Imagine if you went on holiday somewhere, and let's say you went on holiday to England, this cold place, and you went to a particular hotel and you had a great time. When you come back to England, where are you going to want to stay? You're going to want to go to that place because you're going to want to have that experience again. So that's what I like to do with chatbots, have people have a really fun experience, so that when they're ready to do business, because they may not be ready to do business there and then, but when they're ready to do business, they want to go back to the place where they felt valued and they had fun and it was a great experience. So they're getting to know, like, and trust you before they actually do business with you. Now, some people say, oh, I don't like chatbots, and people don't like chatbots. Well, there are thousands of people that are communicating with chatbots daily, with different businesses via chatbots daily. And there is some research to say that people prefer that because they're getting an answer straight away. They're getting that little dopamine hit. We want answers right now. We don't have to wait. We don't want to wait until somebody can call us back or send us an email. We want the information straight away so we can make a decision and then move on. So there are more people actually using chatbots with businesses than other businesses might think. Now, what I do say to people is think of blockbusters. Now, I remember using blockbusters, but then what came after blockbusters? Netflix. Now, all blockbusters had to do was go online, but it didn't. And so it went out of business. So what you have to do all the time is go where the people are. The people are online, and this is a format that people like to communicate with businesses with. So if your business doesn't have this format, and that's how people like to communicate, then people may not communicate with your business as much as you like to, or at all. They're going to communicate with the business where they can get the information that they want quickly in the format that they want it. So if you're not considering using chatbots in your business, you could be losing out on a lot of business and losing business to your competitors unnecessarily. So if you want to be competitive today, you really do need to be using chatbots, because more and more people are wanting to communicate with a business via a chatbot, because they want the information that they want right now. They want it quickly, and a chatbot can do that for you, as well as starting to build that relationship with that business. So it's not just giving them the information, it's starting that to then come in, kick in, and continue that relationship. So if you're not using chatbots, there are going to be a lot of other businesses that are, and they're going to be taking business away from you. But that doesn't have to be the case. All you have to do is just implement chatbots in your business, and then you too can get a share of all the businesses that are out there, and all the prospects that are wanting to communicate with businesses like yours to get whatever service that is. People will always take the path of least resistance. So if it's going to be easy to communicate with you, that's where they're going to communicate. None of us wants anything to be hard, and chatbots make things easier, not only for that business, but for potential clients to actually communicate with that business. So make life easy for yourself, for your business, and make life easier for your potential prospects as well.
Well said. And there you had it, audience. I mean, then when Karlene built your chat box, she built it to be bubbly, and bubbly enough to create lasting, memorable experiences that you can't resist. I love what you said at the beginning. So you have it there with Karlene. All right. How do you want to be remembered as an entrepreneur? I mean, how would you like, your customers and people to refer to you, long when you have made this into a mega industry?
Got it. How would I like them to remember me? In business, as we all have, there's ups and downs, but I never give up. I'm always a phoenix rising from the ashes. So to remember me as somebody who never gives up, just so that when other people, when they're starting their businesses and they have challenges, they know that this is just part of the course. You're going to have ups and downs. I mean, the best of them, people like Richard Branson, I always think about him because I read his book and I learned about the ups and downs in his business. You're going to have ups and downs. And I want people to remember me as somebody who refused to give up. I refuse to give up. And, when you do that, you will find a way. I want them to remember me as somebody who always found a way. And I want them to remember me as a business that cares about their business, and a business that is about getting them results and not stopping until I do that. And one of the things my clients often say to me is they like my customer service, because I always follow up with people and make sure that they're happy with the chatbot and that it's working for them and that it's doing what they want them to do. So a business who is good at customer service never gives up, we'll always just keep trying and, doing anything that I can do to improve my service and help my clients improve their results. That's what gives me a buzz, seeing my clients get the results that they want to.
Well, you have said a whole lot, and I must say I'm enjoying it. I'm going to be looking back at this video for some time to come, and just to get the bubbly part, that you represent. Now, I want to now give you the floor. Is there anything that you want to say that I might not have asked? The floor is now yours to give your closing remarks. All to you, Karlene.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I know that some businesses are afraid, maybe afraid of using chatbots because they may not have had a good experience in the past, and they're concerned that their prospects may not want to use chatbots, and they're concerned that it may be robotic. And I would just like to let them know that it doesn't have to be that way. You can have chatbots that are very personable and chatbots that, you know, draw your prospects to you. So, you know, if you do have concerns about using a chatbot, certainly go to my Instagram and DM me the word grow, and you will encounter my chatbot. Her name is Bubbles, and you can see what, you know, a personalized, fun chatbot can be. So don't allow yourself to be left behind because you're afraid of what, you know, you may have experienced before, or you're afraid of the chatbot being robotic, as some can be. It doesn't have to be that way, and it can definitely help you grow your business. So don't let those fears stop you from moving forward with new technology. So definitely do give it a go.
Thanks, Karlene. And I want to say to persons who are viewing this program from around the world, we have been talking with Karlene Hubbert. She's out of the United Kingdom. She is the Chatbots Queen. Now, if you're not using the Chatbots as a vehicle to connect with your audience, optimize your visibility, optimize your impact and conversion, you're leaving the entire cake on the table. I mean, the chat box is so important. It's so important. And what I want to see, you don't want to just go to anyone to build out your chat box. We have the chat box queen here. She has tremendous knowledge. She brings tremendous passion. She knows what she has been doing. You've heard in this interview that she have built out platforms for business owners, and she has doubled the level of return that they're getting. She can do this for you. And with time, perhaps she can more than just double it. Perhaps she'll take you to that 10x figure. So really start thinking about what this is. And if you don't know what it is, start researching it. Perhaps you can connect with Karlene, and Karlene has a wealth of information that she will be willing to share with you and walk you through the process to really bring you to that time where you're able to make an informed and educated decision about why you should be incorporating chatbots across your social media platform. So there you have it. And that's what this program is all about, the Investor's Guide. It's about bringing critical information to the business community that really helps them to understand how to make smart investment decisions to grow, scale your business with local, regional, and international relevance. Karlene, it has been such a pleasure being with you today. I know this is not the last interview that we're going to be doing. We have a lot of work to do moving forward as we position your brand to make impact across the world, because it has relevance across the world. And however we can work with you and position your brand out there, and we're totally receptive to doing that. So thanks again, and you're most welcome. And do enjoy the rest of the day. We'll be talking shortly. I'll call you shortly.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure.
You're most welcome, Karlene. Bye-bye.